right? So what I mean by automation here, so whatever day-to-day operations activity, no matter is a Windows Server, Active Directory, right? Cloud engineer, network engineer, database engineer, right? And any engineer, so we know that is in day-to-day operations activity. So wherever that is in day-to-day operations activity, wherever we are spending a lot of time, wherever we are doing repeated work, and obviously currently every management, every company management, they are asking, they are looking for things to make optimizing, right? Things to make work, get it done quickly. Such requirement, we would need this PowerShell. And this basically PowerShell for who are working on Windows, Microsoft operating system, more on this, right? So wherever repeated work we are doing, wherever reporting part needed, right? And wherever manual work we are spending a lot of time, it must need it. So basically we need to understand that is, and how do I start? So currently maximum engineers, they are going to the Google and taking that PowerShell script and they are using for the business requirement. I would recommend first understand that is in how PowerShell works. Okay, I would not recommend to just take basic knowledge, have a PowerShell, and go to the Google and just get the requirement. And when you get error, it will be stuck because we don't need to learn as a develop the code, right? We don't need to learn the develop the code. We need to understand that is in how PowerShell work. So basically, there are some formula on the PowerShell. So what you mean by that is in the PowerShell, when you talk about the terminology we call as a commandlet. This is the first most important we know that is commandlet. And there are some basic terminology we need to understand. What do you mean by parameter, right? What do you mean by parameter values? What do you mean by data types, right? And what do you mean by pipeline? When do I use it? How do I use it? And there are some operators. And most important, you need to know the looping statement. And then how do you handle the error handles? So how do you reporting part, which is called import and export? And little more advancing on this PowerShell, when we know this concept, automatically you would be going through that is advanced PowerShell, which is called that is functioning, advanced function. And PowerShell modules. So you would need to know this kind of terminology. When do I use, how do I use it? So when you know this concept, right? As I said, you no need to have a develop the code. We are not a developer. We are a system administrator. We are working as the architecture level of the all the technologies where you see this is maybe you are in a cloud administrator, you are network administrator, database administrator, Active Directory administrator, Windows Server administrator. But we wanted to work on this is a thoroughly in a deeply or advanced level to support. But this PowerShell is additional skills would need it. How you things make automate environment, reducing the repeated work, reduce the manual work, reporting part. We would need very much for this PowerShell. But when we know this concept thoroughly, fundamental part. So whenever requirement it is there, immediately you just currently that already ChatGPT is there, the DeepSeek is there. These people are giving us the ready-made code, ready-made PowerShell script. But when we take from the Google, we would aware about how this PowerShell behavior, how this PowerShell works. So you need to go through that is in from top to bottom, no matter how many lines of this PowerShell, but you are very much needed to understand that and confidently edit that PowerShell. So based on your requirement, and you can test that PowerShell script. And once it works, that's it. What else we needed? And you can update this skill in your profile, in your resume confidently, having a skills and experience on the PowerShell. If you put this word, it will be more weightage. During interview, it would ask you to align with your skill set, architecture level, what you're working, senior administrator you're working, no matter you're fresher also. If you updated in your profile having a skills on PowerShell, that more weightage. And if they ask you a few questions on this PowerShell, if you answer that, it will be more weightage and it might be get selected. Because currently people are looking for primary skills, what you are supporting, along with plus automation. I hope you all agree with this, right? So environment, it provides a command line interface where users can execute the commands, perform administrative tasks, and automate the task using script. This is just a basic definition of the PowerShell. When you talk about the automation, PowerShell allows the automation of repetitive tasks, making it easier to manage and maintain systems. Scripts can be created to perform tasks as a system configurations, file management, user management, reporting. Obviously, the main agenda for this PowerShell saving a time and reducing the human error, right? Now, where we need to use a PowerShell. PowerShell is extensively used for various scenarios, especially within Windows-centric environments for a wide range of tasks where we are using system administration. Who are there? Windows Server, Active Directory, Office 65, cloud services, Microsoft Azure, deployment of configuration, SCCM, networking, database, VMware. So as I said earlier, this is a centralized critical or making automations things for all the technologies. Every administrator must use a PowerShell for automation. Who are there? Storage administrator, backup administrator, server administrator, VMware, Active Directory, security, cloud, database. But this PowerShell make you to things automated. This very much needed, correct? And where we need to use the PowerShell, we would be having some use cases we'll talk about. Think about you are in the call, there's a P1 applications team asking, I would need create a one folder quickly in multiple servers. It's very simple 2-line script, but it's an impact more. They asked you to, there are 100 application servers and we need to, the applications down, we need to create a app.db folder in all 100 server. Next 10 minutes. Do you think that is in this app.db folder creating manually for all 100 server within 10 minutes? It won't, right? So this script to make you to, script is very small, but it's more make you to more impact, more effective. So again, some add registry key to multiple remote server. Something impacted, something patch deployed last night, and due to that patch, there one of the registry key is been corrupted or value got changed. We need to return back that value for the multiple servers. This kind of requirement manually, it will take more time, right? In the within a few minutes, that kind of requirements it will be fixed. So very much needed. This kind of skills very much needed, right? Verify the specific service running on multiple servers. Yes, because something impacted, something you deploy the patches, and because of that, this is happened. This is a common things every day. We would need another in our day-to-day operations. I have seen that multiple because of the patch deployment. There are many things impacting in our environment, but we need to quickly solve that issues, right? There are services are stopped due to that patch deployment, and it's impacted my operations activity. So remove disabled users from specific groups. So now the requirement come to this is just task, not for the user. We wanted to identify the users are disabled from the longer period and still they are existing in our environment. We wanted to find those all the across my activated infrastructure. Disable users, you need to find it and remove it from the groups. And also we can plan for the, these are all basic, very basic things, but it's the impact is more. It's a needed very much day-to-day operations. We know that is in disabled users, we need to move the specific disabled OU. We have created disabled, we need it to move automatically. So whenever you do the disabled users, automatically this user should move to the disabled OU. So after 2 months, after 3 month timeline, then later we would be deleting from these users from the disabled OU. And if you talk about the cloud, we need to create a VM1, the name of the VM1 in Azure cloud environment, specific region. So we don't want to, it's a one VM. Now tomorrow, if you have a requirement around 20 machines, I need to deploy in VM in a cloud environment in a specific region. Yes, it's very much needed for the PowerShell. It would help you to quickly create those VMs. So first, most important, you need to understand before you begin with these use cases, what is actual PowerShell works. So you should understand the commandlet structure, how that commandlet structure. How do I begin? How do I start my PowerShell? Commandlet structure using help commandlet, update help, parameter variable. What do you mean by this? So first, most important, when you go to the PowerShell, there are 4 type of console. Okay, PowerShell, 4 type of console. What are those? Number 1 is basically they divided into 64-bit and 32-bit console. So one is we would be using for the direct console 64-bit. Second one is direct console 32-bit. And third one is there is a ISE console, which is integrated script extension or integrated script engine, which we are using for 64-bit. And the fourth one is same ISE console, (32-bit). So this ISE is a script method, scripting console, right? And this is for the direct console. For example, if you see, if you go to the start button, it's a default PowerShell would be available. All the Microsoft operating systems start with Windows 2008. This PowerShell technology, PowerShell tool was introduced from 2008 onwards. Yeah, sorry, who is this? Yeah, I can hear you. Anyone has any question? Guys, anyone has any questions so far what we discussed? Okay, so please raise your hand or you can stop me in between if you have any questions. So very basic level, you need to understand this. How many type of we have? 4 type of console. So when you click on the star, you would go to the directly scroll down here. You would be having one folder called as a Windows PowerShell. So you just expand here, you would be able to see Windows PowerShell. It's a direct console. Windows PowerShell x86. x86 indicate for the 32-bit. And Windows PowerShell ISE, integrated script engine, which is script method, script console, 64-bit, and Windows PowerShell ISE x86 32-bit. So why we have a still x86? Because this PowerShell console, PowerShell tool introduced from 2008 onwards operating system. And when they introduced Windows 2008, that was 32-bit operating system. Maybe your script is still developed in a older versions operating system. So you wanted to test. Microsoft still keeping this 32-bit console. So it is compatibility point of view, right? So when you click on this Windows PowerShell direct console, you can have this kind of background blue color. You would be getting for this kind of console, right? And if you go to the another one is ISE, how it looks PowerShell console here. Second one is ISE mode. Click on this. This ISE, it would give you that is script console, which is script pen, where you can write the script in a top in this place and you would get the result here. There is a script pane. We call a script pane. You wanted to make this top to bottom. You see this is called a script pane. When you click on here, you can make it right side script. You can write the number of line here, and you would get the result here. Or you wanted to make full screen, you can make it this one. So it is a little a friendly environment of this console where you are going to learn or you're going to run the script for the multiple line script. You can use this, but you would be knowing the design. We will be coming this stage later, but you need to have the design first to understanding in the direct console how you are going to use it, and this will help you you can execute line by line. But here in a direct console, you just write the command and you can execute it. It will be execute all commands in one at a time. But here you can able to, so say for example, now I have that is in get hyphen service, right? Get hyphen service. There's a command it. And this is my get hyphen process. And get hyphen event log. So if I executed, you would be using this line. All 3 lines will be get executed, right? But I don't want to execute it entire script. I wanted to go with the step-by-step line 1. You just bring this cursor here. You bring the cursor, line number 1, you just bring it and you can okay. It is executing all the lines. Just giving you the comparison between this direct console and ISC console. Okay. So now if I wanted to make one by one, just bring the cursor here, line number 1, you can just select here. This is run selection. So it would go into executing only line number 1. And second line number 2, you wanted to run this second line number 2, you can bring this execute this one. So it will execute only that line selected. Okay. So this is how we need to start our journey with the PowerShell console. So begin with this. As I said, this PowerShell is a calling as a commandlet. First, most important, you need to understand that default, how many commandlets are there? Default, how many commandlets are there in my system? Operating system, right? So the first most important, to execute the command, we need to identify what is the best commandlet. Always we are calling as PowerShell when you're working, there's a commandlet. How do I find my commandlet? So there is a formula, verb bind noun format. Verb bind noun format. There's a formula. What is that verb bind formula? Verb bind noun format formula here. So whenever we wanted to get information or you can fetching the information, we always use a get. This is the verb. Okay. And next, whatever you're going to use, you are asking to the PowerShell, right? That is called as a noun, which is commandlet. Get, and we are going to use for always with the align with the hyphen, which is full command is a get hyphen commandlet, right? Get hyphen commandlet. So you would be able to see all the commandlets you would be able to find. Can able to see here. The first commandlet you need to understand this. Can able to see. What is that? Get hyphen commandlet, right? And then how do I start? We got to know the commandlet. How do I start further? We need to search. Say for example, we need to find the relevant. There is a requirement. I wanted to find for that is in my operating system. Check service, all the services information. I need to find all the service information, but I don't know that how do I write it? What would be the commandlet? So we know that is in all the commandlet here. In that commandlet, how do I find that my service related commandlet? So in PowerShell, we would be using called as a wildcard. Wildcard means what? We are using for the star. So you know that is in something you wanted to find in your folder and file in your system. How do you search it? When I go to this PC, you know that is C colon and D colon, right? I don't know the where I have kept my file and folder, which drive, but I wanted to search. I will go to the search and give the file name and put the star, right? It means what? The star indicate for wherever it is there, you need to find it. In PowerShell, this we would call as a wildcard. So what you can see, you can do that. We know the get hyphen commandlet, get hyphen command, right? The command is get hyphen command. Inside this, you would be using for star. I need to find that is in service, right? So overall, you would be able to see this get hyphen command. This is get hyphen commandlet. It you can using for get hyphen commands, right? There's a commandlet called as a get hyphen command. Inside these commands, you would be find the service, and then you would be relevant commandlet you would get it. Let's see how you can search it. First, the commandlet is we need to find all the commandlet. The command called as a get hyphen command. Ask the PowerShell get hyphen command. You can also press the tab. Automatically, you would get that is in right commandlet. You just type the 2-3 line for the 2-3 word for this and hit enter. You would be able to find in your operating system how many commandlets are there by default. See this? All the commandlets you would be getting for, and also you might see that is in additional modules I have installed for the separate relevant Azure module I have installed. You would be getting for the more when you type in your system get hyphen command, maybe it is a difference count compared to my system because the additional module I have installed. We will be talking what are those modules and how do we get it. In upcoming classes, we'll discuss. Hope you are getting what I'm trying to explaining. Anyone has any question so far?
Neil, I have one question.
Go ahead.
If I trying to search and we are getting the output through the command, right? So
Correct.
how I can save those output in a notepad or on text file,
We'll talk
something
about.
like
We'll talk
yeah.
about. It's very simple. We'll talk about that is as I said for right get hyphen content you would be using. So output saving file. Basically anything you wanted to, anything you wanted to make the PowerShell. Always remember we would need a write commandlet. Simple, right? So when you ask the to output you're getting for what is that output notepad you needed. So we would be using for that is in get hyphen content, and you can see this is out file. Out file is the output file for the notepad I'm talking about. Okay, for the notepad. So you need to read the file, read the notepad file to the PowerShell, read the notepad file from the system to PowerShell, and out file is a get the report, get the output report from PowerShell to local path. You can save it anywhere, right? Local drive. This is kind of the save the reporting part. But you wanted to have that CSV format. I don't want to for this notepad file. And there is other method called as a you need to use for import hyphen CSV and export hyphen CSV. Same process. You wanted to have the CSV format, which is read the file, Excel file, or read the CSV file. Import hyphen CSV, read the CSV file from the system to PowerShell, export hyphen CSV, get the output report for the saving file. This you would be using. So this is a commandlet, right? Always we need to know that is in which commandlet I need to use and how do I use it. That is only important, the formula. You need to understand this. You getting?
Yes, Neil. Thank you so much.
Okay, no worries. It's just a very simple. We'll come back, right? This is all we will be going to talk about. So now see this. These are all how many commands are there? How many commandlets are there? If you ask the PowerShell to in my system get hyphen command and I say count, get hyphen command, you would be able to see this how many number of commandlets are there. Maybe when you type the same command, see this 7,994 commandlets are there. It might be when you check your system, it might be less because I have additional commandlets, I have used it. You see this, all the commandlets are there, right? The second important here, I know these are 7,900, but I need to find my relevant commandlet. What is that? I am looking for check all the services information. I would need for that is in service related. I don't know the commandlet. So you can ask the PowerShell by using wildcard. What is that wildcard here? Which is called star, right? So come back to the PowerShell. Get hyphen service is get hyphen command is a commandlet. In this, I wanted to find service. See this? You would be able to see this many things. Again, a little smarter way. If you wanted to find that, you can use that is in get, the common get, right? Get hyphen command. Okay, and get is a common, then use the service. Okay, now see, you would be able to see the commandlet here, get hyphen services. So always you need to find the relevant command, get hyphen service. Okay, I found that get hyphen service. What do I do the next? And this commandlet, what are the additional information I need to understand? So how do I process it? I wanted to check a specific service, check the status is running or stop the services. How do I know that? To process of the further, remember every commandlet we have that is in default information. Every commandlet we need to check what are the default parameters. So parameter means what? I need to work on this commandlet. I wanted to check the service name. I wanted to check the status of the service. I wanted to check the specific display name of the service, right? To find that, we must need what are the default parameters. So to find that, I need to ask, to find these default parameters, I need to ask PowerShell, which is help. I need to ask the help to the PowerShell. To use this PowerShell, we would be using for get hyphen help. Remember, every commandlet, you need to get the full information, not only parameters, you should get the full information of each commandlet. Remember, if you wanted to need a full information of each commandlet, your PowerShell console must be update. And for this, we would be using update hyphen help. So I don't need to have the commandlet here. If again, I'm going to asking here, get hyphen command PowerShell. And I would ask the PowerShell called help. Simple. Now see this. Do you get the get hyphen help? And do you see the update hyphen help here? Right? So now first, as I said, I wanted to get the full information of my command. I got to know that is get-service. So I can ask here get-help. This is very first level, a basic commandlet you should understand. It's the first journey of, before you jump into the start writing the script and before you do anything, these are all very basic. Every script developer must aware about how I need to get all the parameters, all the information from the commandlet. Get-help and get-service. This is my commandlet. I wanted to know the full information of the service. And after running this command, if you are not getting the full information means what? This is the heart of all the commandlet to get the information. Please concentrate here. When you type the get-help and get-service, you would get that is in service name, and it would give you that is in the synopsis. What is this purpose using? The most important is syntax. This is the import. This is the entire information of the heart of the commandlet. Every commandlet has this information. So this is how do I use it? To using the commandlet, I should understand that what would be the parameter. You see, get-service hyphen computer name, and you need to type your computer name. Get-services hyphen dependency services hyphen display name. You need to basically every commandlet you should have the parameter, and each commandlet we should have parameter, and each parameter we need to enter the input, we need to enter the value. Parameter must have or must enter the value. The value must be we call as a data types. Those are all. It might ask you that is in string value. It must ask you integer value. It must ask you might be the date and time. Remember, the parameter, you know the parameter, and in this parameter, what is that value should be entering, what is the value should be demanding to the enter, that we should understand. That is called string value. It is always you need to find here. String means what? Either text or word value. You cannot type here, if it is demanding string, you cannot type as a number. And integer value, it is always asking for the number. And you have that is in integer 64-bit or 32-bit, sometime it's asking you. And a specific date and time. Say for example here, get-service computer name hyphen computer name, it is asking you system.string. Means you need to type the computer name, and the hyphen display name system.string, it is a string value. Every commandlet parameter along with the hyphen, we need to enter the value. That value data types demanding string value. Every command get-service hyphen name, it is system.string. Say for example, get-service hyphen name, it's a parameter, and I wanted to check the WinRM service name, which is string value. Hit enter. It is giving you this information. Very simple. Very simple. Now say for example, get-event. Now I wanted to find, can anyone try? I need to know that. I need to know the event log of my system. First, most important, find the commandlet. How do you find the commandlet? You know that already. And then find the get the full information of commandlet. Remember, if you are not getting this kind of full information means what? If your PowerShell console not giving you full information, what do you mean by full information? It must give you this complete syntax. It must give you description. It must give you related links. It must give you remarks with example. If it is giving you full information, it must be understand that your PowerShell is already updated. If it is not giving you full information, your PowerShell must be run as a update-help. If PowerShell not giving a full information of commandlet, of each commandlet, then we need to update our PowerShell gallery, PowerShell console. For this, what we need to do, we need to type update-help. This is very basic. First, most important, you need to understand this. If it is not running, you can see you can say just run the update-help. So your PowerShell console is going to be connecting to the internet or the PowerShell gallery from Microsoft. It will be get updated. Everyone, please check it in your, if you're already connected system, just try with this, just get the information. If not, you can run this second command update-help. I'll give you a pause for the 1 minute. If you guys already, yeah, anyone has any question? Someone raise a hand. Rakesh and Basu. Go ahead, Rakesh or Basu. Basu, you have any question?
Neil, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. And Rakesh?
Yeah, this is Rakesh.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm good, I think.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. So these are all basic things we need to, you can just getting the error, you can ignore it because already I have ran this. Okay. And some of the commandlet, it won't give you the result, right? But please run this command update-help. And once you update-help, ask the PowerShell get-help and get-service, any commandlet. You need to ask first, that is in help, right? Service. And it would give the full information. So if it's giving the full information, it means it's understood that your PowerShell console is updated. That's all. So now, as I said, commandlet, parameter, and values. Now I have asked what is that next requirement is. I need to find event log. So what would be the commandlet now? What is that here? I need to find the commandlet. How do I find it? You know that already get-command is all the command I have now. Okay. Now I need to ask the wildcard entry, which is event log. Correct? Very simple. Get-command, and I'm using for, someone give the already commanded. Is all the versions to version commands and parameters differ? And how can I get the know which versions is? Yeah, I'll give that command. You should check with this command. This is, you see this, what is the PowerShell version you are using? This $PS version table. It would be the same, right? Even you type this command PS version table, it is mine. So it is always for all the operating system 5.1 above. Now currently it is running for the 7.2, right? It is the same, and it would be have a upcoming versions of PowerShell. You would might be adding for the few parameter, right? Few parameter it would be adding. Depends on the version, should be get changes. But you can check this command. PowerShell versions, what would be the PowerShell versions I am using? But basically 5.1 is a common for all the operating system for 64-bit. Right. Now I wanted to find this get-command and event log, right? How do I find it? So get-help, get-command, get-command, and use a star wildcard. I need to type event log, correct? Now see this. Do you have the commandlet here? I got to know that is in get-event log. And I don't know that event log further. I need to find full information. What I do use it here, get hyphen help and get hyphen event log. Now see this event log information, get hyphen event log hyphen log name. It is a string value hyphen instance ID. You see here, it is asking you integer 64. What do you mean by this? Is integer. You need to type only numbers. You see hyphen after system dot date and time. You need to enter only date and time. Each commandlet, earlier you asking for the service related. Earlier, which we asked the full information of the service commandlet. What is the information it gave us? Get hyphen service, parameter called computer hyphen computer name, parameter called as a dependency, parameter called display name. All the parameters values is asking you string only. But if you see this event log, few of the parameter demanding for integer, few of the parameters asking for date and time. As I said, every commandlet has the parameter, and each parameter has a value. That values must be using either string value or integer or date. We should aware about, by default we should aware about what kind of the input or what kind of the value I need to enter, right? And you see this of the event log. Now see, I wanted to find, just we need to frame it. What is the requirement here? I need to find, okay, I need to find system log event log. I need to find event log for system log just for the first requirement. I need to find the system log. How do I find it? I would need for the commandlet, I would need for the parameter, and I need to know the input value. So commandlet is, what is the commandlet here? Get hyphen event log, parameter is hyphen, what is the parameter here? Before I type the system log, the parameter would be log name, hyphen log name, and I need to type here system, correct? So parameter would be log name, and input value I need to enter, that is string value, which is system. Let's see the framing of this. Get hyphen event log hyphen log name parameter, and I'm going to type here system log system. Let's come back in PowerShell console, type it here, get hyphen event log hyphen log name and system. See this? I'm getting all the systems log, event log from the my system. Now again, I would need a little more advanced here. I need system event log generated from last week to till today. Last week means you can take a date here, 9th of February. Okay, last week means 9th of February. February to 15 February. So who will help here? Who can manage it? How do you find it? February. It's a basic requirement, right? Now you need to frame the commandlet. You know that everything in front of you, right? You can use this You see what would be the commandlet, what would be the parameter, and what would be the next requirement. I need a system log, system event log from last week to till today, which is 9 February to 15 February. So please find the right relevant parameter and what would be the value we need to enter it. Can anyone check and try? Very simple. What would be the parameters? Can anyone tell me?
Date would be parameter.
Sorry?
Date.
For date means what? What is the parameter for that? I have given the requirement here, right? So make it, frame it. So basically we would need get hyphen event log commandlet hyphen log name is a system log. Then I said that is in last week. I need a log detail for the 9th February to 15th February. So how do I find it? Can you find it my relevant? You see here hyphen after is a parameter and you need to type here system date and time, correct?
You can use after and before.
See this? You can see hyphen after and before. Now I would be going to use it. Parameter called as a hyphen after and date was 09/02/2025. Then hyphen before and that input is asking you to, you see hyphen after is a parameter and asking you the date and time. I'm giving the date, right? And again before is a parameter and I'm going to entering the value for date and time. So 0, which is 15/02/2025. Is this correct? Is that my complete commandlet for this to my requirement?
Yes.
Let's come back here. Get hyphen event log hyphen log name system and hyphen after, and when you press the tab automatically you would detect it. Okay, I would need for 09 and you should be put into that double quote. Okay, so 09/02/2025 and before and today date 0/15/02/2025. Very simple, isn't it? Cannot convert. Okay, it is taking you DDMMYY. So what you need to do, MM first to 09/2025 and here MMDDYY. It is taking you format MMDDYY. Okay, it is 15. See this? Now you just observe here. I'm getting for that is in informations warning all the date which we have asked here. I want to know that only error log. I need whatever this time is. It is. I need a system log from this date to this date. Only error log. Only error log. Can anyone try with this? Because I'm getting all the full information of the log. Take the help and see this. What would be the command that I can use it now? Can I use for entry type and error? Yes or no? Now let's see this. MMDDYY. I would say entry type. I would need only error. DDMM, right? Yeah. Hyphen entry type. And I would need error. See this? I'm getting all the error log from the date and till date. Getting, guys? Only error log. See this entry type error. So what is that we understood here? PowerShell, we need to find the commandlet. We need to find the parameter and what type of the value is demanding. and based on our requirement, we found it for our parameter, and this parameter demanding for the date, and this parameter demanding for the date, and next I would need for the only entry type is error. So whatever we asking to the PowerShell, it would either each commandlet, either it should go to the parameter and that parameter has to enter the value. This is the first level of basic formula we need to understand to begin your journey. Understood, guys? Everyone should understand this. First, you need to find the commandlet and ask the help to PowerShell for get the information, get all the information, which is what kind of parameters are there, and each parameter what kind of values is, what kind of input demanding for enter the values. Very simple, first level. Then we will talk about, now think about, I need to find, just come back to the again get-service, right? I wanted to find, these are the my output of the get-services. I need to find only, you see here, the status is asking you, I wanted to find only running status of the services. What is the requirement here? I need to find what are the services are running. That's it. So what else you needed to find it? You can just, you know that already get-service is a commandlet. So you know that ask the PowerShell to get-help and get-service. Now can anyone please read this in syntax and help me to get this, fulfill the requirement? Please read this syntax and fulfill the requirement. What kind of parameter I would use it? Anyone try? Anyone try? Read the complete syntax and find the relevant. What would I needed here? I would need for service status shows as running. I know the commandlet. So what is the parameter we are looking here? We would need for what? Status, isn't it? So now see this status, can you see in my default parameter? Computer name is there, dependent services is there, exclude is there, dependent service is there, include, I don't see anywhere in this status. So remember, if the requirement is not part of my default parameter, then I have to use for pipeline operator with the help of this parameter. But by default, remember, by default we would be using very limits parameter, but I wanted to see the full information of the parameter. I can ask the PowerShell again to give me that list of all the parameter or header get-service. You can use the pipeline operator, which is format list. format list with the star. If you're using, it would give you the complete information. Now see this, for service related, in the help, get-help, you would get the limited parameter list, but I wanted to know that is in a full information of the commandlet. I need to use a format list star, but I would getting here name, required services. You can see these are all remainings are there. You see that one is called status. But this kind of, if whichever parameter is not part of the default parameter and it's showing you that requirement header, I would be using for pipeline operator. So pipeline operator, we will be talking about next class what I mean by pipeline and all. I would be using get-service, and I would be using for the pipeline operator where -object. We will talk about in detail, right? $_ dot status equal to, which is we would need for running. In this, it will be involved for, that is in comparison operator. It is involved for other things. We'll talk about in detail, piece by piece. I'll explain you what you mean by this parameter, what you mean by where -object, and what you mean by this open and close flower bracket, what is the $_, what is dot, and you know that already status is there, and equal, -equal is a comparison operator, and what is double quote, this we'll talk about in detail in the next. If who are registered, we will be going to talk about. I'm just going to show you here some limitations are there and how do I use it. Instead of the default parameter, get-service, pipeline operator, where -object, and $_ dot status equal to running. So it's very simple to make you to understand today's class, right? And lot of things you're going to learn. So once you know this formula, how to use it, and you see, I'm getting for the complete only running status. You see, I'm getting only, very simple here, and I'll make you to easy to understand. So I would give you guarantee, first 4 classes you need to concentrate. After 4 classes, you would be able to write a script your own. That guarantee I can give you, right? That's it for today, guys. So anyone has any questions? So we would be talking in detail. Please get registered. We will be talking about, we will be connecting from the next week, Saturday, and the timing would be India time, morning 9 o'clock, 9 to 10:30 a.m. This timing class every Saturday and Sunday. Okay, the class would be, so this timing it would be 9 to 10:30. So if you talk about this presentation, I just understand that there is,
Neil, how many sessions should there be complete?
It will be 25 hours total class duration, course duration.
So like 2-3 months.
Not 2-3 months, sir. So initially we would be talking about taking 1 hour, first 2-3 classes, 2-3 week, and remaining are, the actual course duration is 20 hours. Okay, the 5 hours I would take for some additional whoever having some doubt and all, considering for the 25 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So making you too confident, all this you would be getting for, complete with advanced level. Now first most, there's a 3 phases actually. We would be talking about the basic PowerShell information like commandlet, what are the commandlet, how do I use it, parameter. These are all formula you need to understand everyone. And then second for we'll be talking about looping statement, right? Looping statement, bigger level. How do you use for the for each, and if statement, if else statement, right? Then would be talking about functions, advanced level. Functions and modules and error handling. This is a way, once you complete it, right, you can able to handle for any of the PowerShell, you may no matter what kind of technology what kind of technology you are supporting. Maybe your cloud maybe you are using the networking, maybe you are working on whichever the technology you're supporting, you can able to handle this. PowerShell is very much needed, right? If you see this my presentation to continue few minutes, few seconds, you know that using help command that we understood, right? Update hyphen help, that I said a verb and noun format, always you need to the separated by hyphen we would be using, right? Get hyphen service, and verb is the action command that perform. First one is you would be getting get, set, new, and these are all verb, and noun is a hyphen service hyphen processes. So how it is completely PowerShell syntax, it is a verb and noun format, it is a name which is comes under for the parameter, right? So how that full frame we are making this, get hyphen help, get hyphen command, get hyphen members, and we discussed about the help command, right? So update hyphen help, get hyphen help, which to finding the parameters, right? These are the parameters are there, which is always start with hyphen, which signals PowerShell that word following hyphens. So then we understood that is in some parameter. We will talk about some mandatory parameter, what are the optional parameter of each commandlet. Then we'll talk about variable, which is declare the variable where we are going to use for the save the content, save the information, which is dollar, right? We will be talking in upcoming classes. That's it. We talked about demo here, get hyphen command. We discussed about wildcard, right? And we understood how do you find the commandlet for requirement. And each commandlet, we know the parameter must have the help. We ask the help to the PowerShell, get hyphen help and all. And we need to run the script, right? For example, we talked about find the logs from Windows event application log. Please find the only error log. We discussed about Windows event viewer application log. We talked about system, and if you want to find the application log, so please find the latest 20th log. You know that how to find it now, right? And the comparison between these PowerShell, Ansible, and Python. The PowerShell, it is developed by Microsoft. PowerShell is primarily used for the task automation, configuration management within Windows environment. And PowerShell is a scripting language, and the command line is shell specifically designed for the Windows system. IT leverages .NET framework. This is a background technology was using for .NET framework and provides a deep integration with the Windows Management Instrumentation (WMI) for system administration. So uses PowerShell is utilized for the managing Windows-based systems, handling administrative tasks and scripting tasks, related Active Directory, system configuration, and more. This is we know this. But if you talk about Ansible, so purpose of Ansible is an open source automation tool used for the configuration management, application deployment. It is little advanced level where it will be open source, right? You can use for the any operating system platform. Deployment and task automation across multiple systems, irrespective of the operating system. So Ansible use the YAML language, which is yet another markup language to describe the configuration and automation task. It's agentless. You don't need to have any agent here. Communicates over the SSH. It basically works with the Linux commands, right? And relies modules for the execute tasks for the remote system. So Ansible is employed for automating tasks, orchestrating complex workflows, managing configurations across various operating systems, including Windows, and enabling IT automations across infrastructure. It's a little advanced level and Ansible needed, and you need to set up the complete Ansible infrastructure. It's not like as a straightforward PowerShell. You need to implement with Ansible infrastructure, then you would using for the YAML language. Python, Python is a versatile general purpose programming. This is a programming language. Okay, it's a developing part. For its simplicity, reliability, and extensive libraries, it is used across various domains for web development. You see, web development, scientific computing, scripting, and automation, and more. But Python is a high-level programming language emphasizing readability and simplicity. It provides a diverse libraries and frameworks for different purposes, including automation with the libraries like Fabric or Paramiko. So scripting web is basically you would be using for the web development, right? It is Angular, Flask, and more. It's also be using for the automation, but more into the developing part. Python is employed for the wide range tasks, including automation script, web development, data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and scientific computing. So this is would be advanced level Python you would be using, but again you need to have that is in Python configurations part would be required. You have to install the Python and then plan it. So that's it for the today's session, guys. I hope you got some informative information. So can we make 9:30 a.m.? Yes, we can make it 9:30 a.m. if all agree with. Thank you so much, right? Yeah, good. Let's make it 9:30 for right. Yeah, markup language. Do you have the fees detail? Yes, please contact for Amit. He will help you too for the fee structure. Whoever joined from the Amit side, you can help him. Okay, you can for whoever joined from my side, they can contact me for the fee structure. Okay, so Amit is a point of contact. Please contact him for the fee structure. So before winding up, anyone has any questions? Let me give Amit numbers to contact for him for the fee structure.